He smiled when he said it. Keep trying. Maybe next time. Like he was handing me a favor. Like his words hadn't just carved a slow, burning cut into the back of my throat. That was the 13th time. 13. I kept the printed email tucked away in my drawer, right next to the 12 that came before it. Same font. Same code formatting. Same empty excuses. Strong candidate pool. Management has other priorities. No mention of the weekends I gave up, the holidays I skipped, the clients I kept from walking. He said I was invaluable, just not valuable enough to promote. So I smiled, nodded, told him I understood. Then I walked out of that office with my face calm, my pulse steady, and quietly started laying the fuse. 6 years ago, I walked in as a fresh-faced analyst. Green, eager, and hungry. He told me I had the eye, that rare instinct for timing, pressure points, pattern recognition. I believed him, worked like hell to prove him right. But every review season, I found myself across from him again, waiting for that door to open. It never did. He praised my discipline, used my strategies, bragged about my insights in meetings, but never let me rise. There was always that invisible ceiling, just high enough to make me believe it was temporary. He needed me to stay exactly where I was, cleaning the messes, running the numbers, making him look like a genius. And I did, for far too long. But something shifted after that 13th rejection. It wasn't rage. It wasn't heartbreak. It was clarity, quiet, surgical, final. If they weren't going to give me the seat I'd earned, then I'd take the whole damn table. I didn't quit. Not immediately. I played the long game. I studied every night, every weekend, built a private portfolio on the side, found clients who wanted sharper leadership. They didn't care about flashy titles. They cared about results. And I've been the ghost behind their best returns for years. Quietly, I started documenting everything. The backdated numbers, the whispered handshake deals, the shell contracts signed without oversight. He'd gotten sloppy, comfortable. He never thought the person beneath him would ever reach up. By month 3, I had more than enough to destroy him. But destruction was never the goal. That's loud, messy, dramatic. I wanted silence. I wanted erasure. In month 4, I sat down for dinner with his biggest client. Nothing formal, just wine, conversation, a few old war stories. Halfway through, the client blinked when I told him I wasn't even a partner. "You're the reason this firm hasn't sunk," he said. I just smiled. That night, he asked if I'd ever thought about building something of my own. By month 5, I said yes. Quietly registered the firm, leased a modest office, brought in 3 of the sharpest people he'd ignored year after year. 2 of them were already updating his systems behind the scenes. One of them had admin access to the firm's full client list. You'd be amazed how fast loyalty flips when people realize the real reason they were ever succeeding. Month 6, I sent a single email. No grand farewell. No thank you paragraph. Just a timestamp, 10:01 a.m., and a resignation letter, effective immediately. By 11:30, he had called me 5 times. By noon, 2 emails. By 2 p.m., I saw him standing outside my new building. By then, it was already over. That same morning, every client I'd kept alive, the ones he thought he owned, walked out the door with me. I didn't have to ask. They just followed the value. By 4 p.m., the firm's stock had dipped 12%. By 6 p.m., the board called an emergency meeting. By midnight, his email account was deactivated. I ignored every single one of the 48 missed calls. 3 days later, he showed up at my office. No greeting. Just stood there, pale and speechless. "You used me," he said. I looked up completely calm. "You used me for 6 years." He tried to argue, tried to blame, then beg. I listened, said nothing. Then I handed him a sealed envelope. Inside, all 13 rejection emails, highlighted, annotated. And across the bottom, one handwritten line. "It's not personal. Maybe next time." I gave him a nod. That was all. He walked out slower than he came in. Now, my firm's thriving. The clients know where the value really lived. My team is sharp, loyal, respected. There are no ceilings here. No fake grins. No waiting for permission to lead. I didn't ruin him. That would have been too easy. I replaced him. I erased the version of success he built on my back and rewrote it under my own name. And every time I passed that dim office downtown, the one with the lights off and the name plaque removed, I remember the 13 times he told me, "Next time," and I smile because I made my own.